Anand Swami ki jai, Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Devotees, this evening on behalf of the spiritual leader and members of the Gyandeepa Kirtan Mandali, welcome each of you to the first of 5 nights of devotions to Bhagavan Shankar in a very auspicious period of time. We are all aware, Shri Mahashivratri should be celebrated next week, Monday. Special welcome to our viewers, our devotees who have joined us online. It's a pleasure to have you joining together with us. Our puja has been completed and we are about to begin with our discourse. Just to remind you that, remember, this 5 nights of devotions will continue until midnight on Shivratri night. More details will be given to you with respect to Shivratri night, but from now until Sunday, our normal procedure, puja and discourse. So we invite you to prepare yourselves and join us. So as we prepare ourselves for Shiv Puran Katha, this course is based upon Bhagavan Shankar. We perform preparations in the form of invocation as we seek the blessings of divinity. And we normally seek the blessings of Gajanan, Devi Ma, Bhagavan Shankar. So at this point, I would like to invite you to join us, concentrate on Gajanan Swami. Pandit Umesh will lead us as we glorify Gajanan and will follow with the glorification of Devi. Let's focus, let's prepare ourselves, right attitude as we begin this wonderful journey.
विघ्न हरण गजवदन गजानन विघ्न हरण गजवदन गजानन विघ्न हरण गजवदन गजानन विघ्न हरण गजवदन विघ्न हरण गजवदन गजानन करहु कृपा मुपे शिवनंदन करहु कृपा मुपे शिवनंदन विघ्न हरण गजवदन गजानन विघ्न हरण गजवदन गजानन रिद्धि सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता रिद्धि सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता सब जग के तू बुद्धि विधाता शंकर नंदन अपनी रंजन भक्तन के तू जगवंदन विघ्न हरण गजवदन गजानन विघ्न हरण गजवदन करहु कृपा मुपे शिवानंदन विघ्न हरण गजवदन गजानन विघ्न हरण विघ्न हरण विघ्न हरण गजवदन।
Bole Shri Gajanan Swami ki jai. We continue to concentrate devotees this time on Adi Shakti. Devi.
जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे, जय पाप विनाशिनी बहुपदे, जय शुंभ निशुंभ कपाल धरे, प्रणमामि तु देवी नराति हरे। जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे, जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे, जय पाप विनाशिनी बहुफलदे, जय शुंभ निशुंभ कपाल धरे, प्रणमामि तु देवी नराति हरे। जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे। जय चंद्र दिवाकर नेत्र धरे, जय पावक भूषित वरे, जय भैरव देह नीन परे, जय भैरव देह नीन परे, जय अंधक दैत्य विशोष करे, जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे। जय महिष विमर्दिनी शूल करे, जय लोक समस्तक पाप हरे, जय देवी पितामह विष्णुनते, जय देवी पितामह विष्णुनते, जय भास्कर शक्र शिरोवनते, जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे। जय षण्मुख सायुध ईशनुते, जय सागर गामिनी शंभुनुते, जय दुख दरिद्र विनाश करे, जय दुख दरिद्र विनाश करे, जय पुत्र कलत्र विवृद्धि करे, जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे। जय देवी समस्त शरीर धरे, जय नाक विदर्शिनी दुख हरे, जय व्याधि विनाशिनी मोक्ष करे, जय व्याधि विनाशिनी मोक्ष करे, जय वांछित दायिनी सिद्धि करे, जय भगवती देवी निशुम्भ कपाल धरे प्रणमामि तु देवि नरार्ति हरे जय भगवती देवी वरदे जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे देवी नमो वरदे देवी नमो वरदे।
बोले श्री आदि शक्ति जगदम्बा माता की जय. Now devotees, we will continue. This time we are concentrating on Bhagavan Shankar, Deen Dayalu Kripa Sagar. Now puja has been performed, and I would like all of us to take this opportunity to do puja, but as we have been saying time and again, Mansik puja. Puja can be done physically, as was done here this evening. It can be done through word, mantra shakti. It can be done mansik in the mind. But mansik puja also has different levels. But we are taking a simple level in which in the mind we are creating, as it were, the various items that we use to worship Shiva. And we would fully realize and accept that physically there are times when we may not be able to get various ingredients, but in the mind everything is possible and anything is possible. So I will perform Shiv Manas Puja Stotram, but for the benefit of those who really wouldn't understand too much what we are doing, I will give you the translation simply. So you focus on it, and I don't want to leave out the Sanskrit because there's a power in the stotra in itself. So I'm going to do that, and when I read the English, you will try to identify with it as if you're performing the puja yourself. But importantly, visualize Bhagavan Shankar. Visualize that beautiful, that handsome form. Deen Dayalu Kripa Sagar, as we refer to him. Jatadhari, Gangadhar. Jatadhari, Matirlocks. Gangadhar, from which flows the Ganga. Trishuladhari, he carries a Trishul. Damaruwali, he also carries the Damaru. Nagavadana, snake adorns his body. 3 eyes. He is white in color, blue-throated Nilkant. Now, if you find difficulty in visualizing that, you can visualize this Murti that is in front of you. Visualize that Murti, and you know you're making your offerings to Bholinath. So, you on your own. Om Ratnai Kalpita Masanam Himajalahe Snanam Cha Divyambaram Nana Ratna Vibhushita Mrigamada Modankitam Chandanam Jati Champaka Vilva Patarachitam Pushpam Cha Dhupam Tatha Deepam Devadaya Nidhi Pashupati Krikalpitam Grihitam. A seed made of precious stones, a bath in delightfully cool water, a splendid apparel bedecked with various gems, sandal paste perfumed with musk, the jasmine and the champak flowers arranged upon bilva leaves, incense as well as light. O Bholinath, O Lord, the ocean of mercy, do accept these offerings conceived in my mind to thee. He Pashupati. Sauvarne Navaratna Khanda Rachite, PatriGhritam Payasam, Bhaksham Pancha Vidham Payudidhi Yutam Rambha Phalam Panakam, Shaka Namayutang Jalang Ruchikarang, Karpura Khandujwalam, Tambulang Manasa Maya Virachitam, Bhaktya Prabhu Swikuru. Clarified butter, milk porridge, the fivefold food, a cooling drink of milk and curds with plantain, vegetables of innumerable varieties, tasteful water and betel scented with camphor. All these food offerings placed in golden vessels, which are set with the 9 precious jewels, have I conceived in my mind out of love and devotion. Do accept them, O Lord. Chatram chamara yur yugam byajanakam chadarshakam nirmalam वीणा भेरी मृदंग काहल कला गीतं च नित्यं तथा साष्टांगम प्रणति स्तुतिर्बहुविधा हि तत्समस्तं मया संकल्पेन समर्पितं तब विभो पूजां गृहान प्रभु. The chhatra or the umbrella, a couple of charmers of tiny fan and a stainless mirror, the music of the lute, the kettle drum, the mridang and the horn, and singing together with dancing, obeisance by the prostration of the 8 limbs of the body, various hymns and prayers, all these, O Supreme Ruler, I duly offer to Thee mentally. Do accept my worship, O Almighty Lord. Atma Tvam Girijamatihi Sahacharaha Pranaha Shiriram Griham Pujate Vishayopabhoga Rachana Nidra Samadhi Sthitihi Sancharaha Padahu Pradakshin Vidhi Stotrani Sarvagiro Yat Karma Karomi Tattat Akhilam Shambhutavaradhanam. O Bholenath, O Shambhu, Thou art my Atma. My intellect is Girija, the daughter of Himalaya, the consort of Shiva. My sense organs are Thy attendants. This body is Thy temple, O Lord. Ministering to the enjoyment of the objects of the senses is my worship to Thee. My sleep is Samadhi. All my moving about on foot is the act of performing the rite of pradakshina. All the words spoken are hymns to Thee. Whatever works I do, O Lord, they are Thy worship, O Shambhu. Karacharana kritam va kayajam karmajam va Sravana nayanajam va manasam va paradham Vihitam avihitam va sarvam itat shamasva Jai Jai Karunabhi Sri Mahadev Shambhu. O Lord, sins committed in action with the hands and feet, or by speech, or by the body, or by the ears and eyes, or those done in thought, forgive all these sins, whether of commission or of omission. Glory be unto Thee, the ocean of mercy. Glory be unto Thee, Hey Devunki Dev Mahadev, O Shambhu. Glory unto Thee. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. We appeal to Bhagavan Shankar through simple bhajan. This world in which I live, the world of duality, is my journey, the ocean. You are the boatman. Take me across, Bholenath. O ab Shiva par karo mure naiya. Ho ab Shiva par karo mure naiya. Ho ab Shiva par karo mure naiya. Ab Shiva par karo mure naiya. Ab Shiva par karo mure naiya. Ho ab Shiva घात अगाध महाज बलि लगन केवैया बलि लगन केवैया अब शिव पर करो हो अब शिव पर करो बारी बरोबर बारी बहतु है बारी बरोबर बारी बहतु है तापर अति पुरवैया हो तापर अति पुरवैया हो अब शिव पार करो थर थर कांपत हिया जो मेरी, थर थर कांपत हिया जो मेरी, शिव की देत दुहैया हो, शिव की देत दुहैया, अब शिव पार करो मुरलिया। अब शिव पार करो मुरलिया हो, अब देवी सहाय प्रभात पुकारत, देवी सहाय प्रभात पुकारत, शिव पितु गिरिजा मैया हो, शिव पितु गिरिजा मैया रे मैया, अब शिव पार करो मुरलिया। अब शिव पार करो मुरलिया हो, अब करो मुरलिया, करो मुरलिया, करो मुरलिया, करो मुरलिया, अब शिव पार करो मुरलिया। अब शिव पार करो मुरलिया हो, अब शिव पार करो। Devotees, we all part and parcel of the divine. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Bholenath Antar Jyot. He is Paramatma Jyot. He is Akhand Jyot. I am Jivan Jyot. I am finite because of my limitations, but I am part and parcel of the divine. So what we try to do through Kirtanam, we go on this journey of trying to reach to Bhagavan Shankar. Remember, we sing, but the singing itself is a journey. Antar Jyoti Namo, Paramahatma Jyoti Namo, अखंड ज्योति नमो, मम जीवन ज्योति नमो, अंतरयामी नमो, जय सद्गुरु शिव नमो, अंतर ज्योति नमो, परमात्मा अंतर ज्योति नमो, परमात्मा ज्योति नमो, अखंड ज्योति नमो, मम जीवन ज्योति नमो, ये अखंड ज्योति नमो, मम जीवन ज्योति नमो, अंतरयामी नमो, जय सद्गुरु शिव नमो, Sadguru Shiva Namo. Antar Jyoti Namo, Paramahatma Jyoti Namo. Akhanda Jyoti Namo, Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo. Akhanda Jyoti Namo, Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo. Antarayami Namo, Jai Sadguru Shiva Namo. Antarayami Namo, Jai Sadguru Shiva Namo. Antarjyoti Namo, Paramahatma Jyoti Namo. Jai Sadguru Shiva Namo. Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo. Holy Shri Umarpati Mahadeva ki Jai. Devotees, we have been hearing a lot of like Ramayana Katha, Krishna Katha, various manifestations of Lord Vishnu. Now Shiva Puran gives us many manifestations of Lord Shiva. So it is not that Lord Vishnu alone manifests, Lord Shiva also manifests. But who is Lord Shiva and who is Lord Vishnu? Brahma. Who is Brahma? Brahma doesn't manifest. So just to put it in a context, simply to let you know what manifestation is all about, or the kind of manifestations we have, according to Bhagavad Mahapuran. Now, we have been hearing that that Lord is infinite, nirgun, without qualities. Adi nahi, madhi nahi, ant nahi. No beginning, no middle, no end. Indefinable. He is beyond the unknown, as we say. And that Supreme Lord, we can call him Param Shiva, Paramatma, Param Brahm, whatever. That Par or Maha refers to that state that is unconditioned, without attributes, unmanifest. Bhagavad Mahapuran tells us that the first manifestation is what we call Gun Avatar. Gun Avatar. Now, we know there are three gunas, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic Prakriti. So the first manifestations, so to speak, are three in number. They are called Gun Avatar. Lord Vishnu is that Brahm, but manifests Sattvic Prakriti. So Lord Vishnu, Gun Avatar, this Sattvic Gun, Vishnu Bhagwan. So he represents Sattva. Brahmaji, he represents Rajasic Prakriti. So when that infinite Brahm manifests, Brahma, Brahma, Rajasic Prakriti. This is second gun avatar. And when that same infinite manifests, so to speak, in the form of Shiva, Param Shiva becomes Shiva, Nirgun becomes Sagun, then this is Tamas Prakriti. Now I'd like to clarify something here, and I think it's grossly misunderstood. Sometimes people say, when we say Lord Shiva represents Tamas, we interpret Tamas to be something bad. Now, Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, there are three planes of existence. And these three modes of Prakriti exist in three places. So I can use a simple example to put it to you. Where divinity is concerned, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the gunas are not the same thing as in the lower planes of existence. In the heavenly plane, so to speak, in the order of being, Sattvic Prakriti represents lightness and brightness, to put it simply. Brahma, Rajasic Prakriti, represents creativity. Not materialism, but creativity, which creates materialism, yes. And Shiva, not that he is lethargic, but Shiva represents non-differentiation, homogeneous state, no differentiation whatsoever. That is Shiva, in the order of being. If you come, in our plane, the earthly plane, so to speak, do the example. Ramayana gives us wonderful the example. Kaushalya, Kaikai, Sumitra. Kaushalyama represents Sattvic Prakriti, the state of piety, truth, principle, etc. Kaikai Mata, she represents materialism. She was the one who asked that Ram should be exiled for 14 years. She wanted the kingdom for her son, materialism. And Sumitra, non-participatory as we say, tamas, inactive. In the psychological, we also have the three gunas. The Sattvic gun, again symbolized by Bibhishan. Even though he was in Lanka, but he was the epitome of spirituality, dutifulness, etc. This is in psychological. So Bibhishan symbolizes that state. Ravan, passion and anger, he represents Rajasic Prakriti. And Kumkaran, as we have all heard, sleeping day and night, sleep, sluggishness, inertia, he represents Tamas Prakriti. So you cannot say that Kumkaran is same as Shiva, but the same gun, but it depends on the level you are speaking about. And this way people make all kind of terrible mistakes. You confuse everything as one. This is why I say, let me draw the difference between these three. So the same three gunas, but in the order of being, different from our ethical and psychological. So devotees, just to mention, these are the three gun avatar. And then they are what we call the Vyuh avatar, four manifestations. Krishna Katha will tell us, Krishna Balaram, Aniruddha Pradyumna. Ramayana, Ram Bharat, Lakshman Shatrughan. Only four. Can't have more than that. Then there's Leela Purushottam, or Leela Avatar. We have the 24 manifestations of Lord Vishnu. 10 major, 14 minor ones, manifestation. Just to point out that to you. Then there's Ans Avatar. Ishwar Ans Jiva Vinashi. Path manifestation. Path, particle of. An ideal example, every one of us. Ishwar Ans Jiva Vinashi. The soul is part and parcel of divinity. We are all part manifestation of divinity. Aham Brahmasmi. But we don't realize it. But this is who we are and what we are. Then there's Kala Avatar. Like you have great sages like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gaurang Dev. Time and again he would be possessed totally by this divine power of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Kala. We can't elaborate too much. I'm trying to create an awareness only. And then there's something called Avesh Avatar, or infilling Avatar, in between. If ever we have through Bhagavad Mahapuran, we can discuss this in more detail. But I'm bringing all this thing to you because I'm going to read of one of the appearances of Bhagavan Shankar, manifestation, and his Ans Avatar. So Shivaji will take many, many different forms. We have all heard of the manifestation of Shiva time and again. Every year Shivratri. You know, Hanuman Baba, he's the 11th form of Rudra, 11th form of Shiva. 11th form. Durvasha, Bhim, these are all manifestations of Shiva. But Shiva Puran gives us some others. And tonight we're going to look at one. And in this we are also going to get some lessons as to how we can, conduct ourselves in life, and, the compassion of Bhagavan Shankar, the mercy of Shiva. And not only that, but the power of self-sacrifice. No gain without pain. Now, devotee is Nandishwar, who himself, Ansautar, a manifestation of Shiva. We won't do that katha. He is speaking to Narad Muni. So he is relating about Lord Shiva. So devotees is important. Listening to katha is a tapasya in itself. Just remember that. This is why the sages have given us kathas also, to listen. And if you were to go back to Bhagavad Mahapuran, Dhundhukari, what liberated Dhundhukari? Not Pindakaram, not anything otherwise. Bhagavad Katha, which he listened to even though he was a spirit. He listened to it, and the power of the word liberated him. So this is why we either keep telling people, listening to Katha is very critical. That is the yagya in itself. That is your sacrifice. Yeah? And listen with the right attitude. Don't let the mind be scattered. Okay? That is tapasya right here. Okay? Sages were no fools to document all these great episodes for us and give us these techniques to help ourselves through life. So devotees, Nandishwar is saying to Narad, Nandishwar Ubach, Shunu Brahmasuta Pritya, Charitang Shashi Maulinaha, Sauvatirno Yatha Pritya, Vishwanar Grihe Shiva. Nandishwar बोले, हे ब्रह्मपुत्र नारद, शिव के चरित्र को प्रीति से सुनो कि जिस प्रकार उन्होंने विश्वानर के घर अवतार लिया. O Narad, I want you with great affection in your heart. It's not how you listen, not just listening, but how you listen. Priti, affection, no negativities. That is important. Positive vibrations, so you attract positivity. I want you to priti se suno, jis prakar, in which way Lord Shiva assumed form at the home of a Brahmin whose name was Vishwanar. Vishwanar ke ghar avatar liya. Namna grihpati isubhut, Agni lokapatir muni, Agni rupas tatejasya, Sarva atma paramah prabhu. हे मुने, अग्नि लोक का पति गृहपति नामक, अग्नि के समान तेजस्वी सर्वात्माओं में श्रेष्ठ था. It said this individual, this manifestation, he is the master of Agni Lok. Now fire, we all know that we have different tattvas, but here we speak of fire, and without fire we cannot exist. Bhur bhuva swaha, when we say that Prajapati swaha, idam Prajapati, idam namama, we have been hearing that when we say mantras, right? Agnaye swaha idam agni idam namama, sumaye swaha praja. Okay, but then we come and say bhu swaha idam agnaye. Bhu, physical word, again. Bhuva swaha idam vayave, the intermediate sphere. Fire there is in the form of vayu, vayave. And in the heavenly visions, as we say, idam suryaye, the Suraj Narayan Swami is the fire in the heavenly visions. So Bhur Bhuvasva, when we say these mantras, so to speak, devotees, fire pervades everything. Without fire there is no life. There is no life. So that state, that fire we speak about, is not only fixed in one place, but pervades everything. Here, Nandishwar is saying, that brilliance, that again, Sarva Atmao message is in everybody. Foremost, most powerful. When the heat goes out of the body, you're dead. One of the signs of that state. So devotees, this individual, he is called Grihapati. And Shiva Ans, he was given that name Grihapati. Agni ke saman, Tejasvi, brilliant like fire itself. But how did it happen? How did he come? Narmadayaschte ramye, pure narmu pure pura, purari bhakta punya atma, bhavat vishwa naro munihi, brahmacharyasame nishtho, brahma yagyas tassada, shandil gotra shuchishmati, shandil gotra shuchin brahma, tejo nidhir varshim, vigyata khilas shastrastas, sadacharas tastada, mshayvachara pravinoti, Laukikachara Vidvarha. Now, Narmada River, there is a wonderful divine river in India called Narmada. Many of you may be hearing advertisement that we have from Lingam, they call it some different name, they say Narmada, Lingam, whatever they say, the word is Narmada. In that river, where that river flowed, there was a beautiful little city that's called Narmapur. And in that village, in that city, there lived a very, very virtuous Shiva Bhakt, a devotee of Shiva, whose name was Vishwanar. When he was young, he lived a very, very straightforward life, brahmacharya. Now, scriptures tell us there are 4 stages in human development: brahmacharya, grihas, vanpras, and sannyas. Brahmacharya, the student celibate stage, and some declare it's until 25 years of age, and then from then to over 55, they say vanprast, married age. 55 to 75, if you live so long, there is the second stage is grihast, and the third stage is vanprast, and beyond 75 is sannyas. They gave these demarcations based upon changes in the body and so on and so forth. Right? Now this Brahman, as a celibate, he lived the proper kind of life, right discipline. Didn't compromise in any way whatsoever. He studied. That is the stage in which you study. You acquire all the necessary tools so you can get back into society and repay your debts to society, etc. On a daily basis, Nirantar Brahm Yagya में तत्पर Shandil Gotwala, in a daily basis, he performed Brahm Yagya. What is Brahm Yagya? Now, let me put it to you one time here. He maintained the 5 daily duties, which I have been mentioning to you time and again. We all have 5 daily duties. That's all stem from debts that we owe. So, Dev Yagya, Dev Rin. We owe a debt to God, so we worship God on a daily basis. The Pitris, Pitrin, Pitri Yagya. We owe a debt to the ancestors. We have to repay this debt as we go through life on a daily basis. Daily basis. Then there's the sages, rishis, Brahm Yagya. We owe the sages a debt of gratitude. We need to repay this debt on a daily basis. And then there's Manush Yagya, mankind, serving society. That is a debt we owe. And Bhut Yagya, law forms of creation. So we have explained this time and again, over and over. But here it is specifically stated, this brahmacharya, this sage in brahmacharya ashram, Brahm Yagya, Nirantar, at all times, he studied the scriptures. And recently you have been told that you need to read scriptures on a daily basis. This is Brahm Yagya. This is repayment of a debt of gratitude to the ancestors. And when I read the Srimana Stotra, when I spoke of sins of commission and omission, understand where it comes from? Not doing what you're supposed to do is sins of omission. So not doing it, nobody suffers except you. Do it, you benefit tremendously. So here you see the example. If you want to, ascend to greatness, you have to follow the principles of scriptures, the teachings. And this is one. So Brahm Yagya. He studied Vedadhyayan, so the Vedas, etc. Being from the priestly caste, he would study everything that was necessary to prepare him to fulfill his responsibilities. In Hinduism, we have lineage. So there's Shandilya, there's Garga, Gautam, different lineage. He came from that lineage that was referred to as Shandilya. So Shandilya Gotra. He was a very pure person. He had that brilliance of Brahm Tejasvi, Brahman reflection, splendor. Jitendriya, Indriya, the senses. 5 senses of perception, 5 organs of action. Jitendriya, he had conquered them, meaning he had total control over the organs of senses, the senses of perception and the organs of action. Notice the kind of qualities you need to have to attain what he attained. Eh? Not just so you know. Even to do devotions, you have to have a certain degree of discipline. So devotees, this was the way he lived his life. Sab shastron ke arth ka jane wala. He understood the essence of scriptures. Now we have been saying that. Many people can regurgitate Gita from beginning to end. You may know the meaning of it, when I say simple, superficially. Do you know the essence of it? This is what is mentioned here. Shastron ke arth ka jane wala. Arth. Not the translation, but the essence of it. And this is something we need to understand also. Many could read, and you say, yes, but do you get the essence? You know, bhajans, my mind crosses this bhajan. Surki gati mein kya janu? Eka bhajan kar na janu. I love that song. Artha bhajan ka bhi ati gahra, usko bhi main kya janu? The poet is saying, Artha bhajan, uske bhi gahra is so deep. The essence of it, what do I know? What do I know? I just know some words. So devotees, I'm trying to get you to understand, the kind of sacrifices we need to make, the preparations, if you really want to tap into divinity successfully. So, not superficial, nothing literally. Arth jane wala. He had all wonderful characteristics, qualities, a wonderful teacher. He was very, very wise, devotees. He was an excellent person. Highly spiritual person. वह विश्वानर अपने चित्त में शुभ स्त्री के गुणों की विचार अपने उचित काल में एक कन्या को विधि विधान से विवाहता हुआ. So the right time came for him to get married. He trained himself, he prepared himself, he underwent training with his guru and so on. And now the time came when he should get married. That time comes for everybody. And as you heard, they say up to 25 years. Years in the past they would have child marriage. Nothing like that in this case here. This individual mastered all fields of study. And then the thought crossed his mind, I must get married now and settle down, because marriage institution is a great university. It helps you to discover yourself if you take it in the right way. We won't elaborate on that. This is why the scriptures give us grihas ashram. Even with these challenges, and devotees have always been saying, Pranatumish has said it over and over, if things are easy with you, you don't really grow. When you are challenged, then you grow. So when people think that marriage easy, everything good, and somebody have problems in the marriage, your marriage ain't good. I am saying that if you look at it from this perspective, you take your situation, whatever it may be, and learn from it. You develop skills, you develop internal power, because the stimuli, external stimuli right in front of you, you learn how to overcome it. Now I am not saying, these days you have a lot of quarrels about, the kind of thing that's happening and so on and so forth. We won't digress. But devotees, we are stating what is, what the ideal is. You have exceptions, which will call for different kind of actions. All right? But here we are saying that this individual, he actually thought, prepared himself, I now have to get married. But I have to get the right person, right background that will mesh with mine. So it wasn't just love, though love is important. These sages, they look to get compatibility, background, qualities that can mesh with theirs to help them in their journey through life. Okay? So devotees, who reflected upon that, and there is an individual whose name was Karl, ek kanya ko vidhi vidhan se vivahata hua. He found such a person, and he got married to this person. So, right background. And now we will see and understand a little bit, the quality as we go along. So, both of them were married. So, life was okay. Very good. अग्निहोत्र करने में तत्पर तथा पंच यज्ञों में परायण छह कर्मों से तत्पर हुआ नित्य देवता पितृ अतिथियों में प्रिय. I mentioned all this. In this grihastha ashram, he carried out his 5 daily duties. Daily duties, devotees. And we have explained again. One may want to ask, do I have to bhandara every day? Offer pinda every day? And I keep saying, no, there is an inner meaning to everything we do. Where the pinda karam is concerned, where the ancestors are concerned, we have benefited from a body of laws, practices, principles, maintaining them efficiently, enhancing them wherever possible to pass on to the next generation. That is pitra yag on a daily basis, not offering pinda. So every day people are supposed to repay this gratitude to the pitris by your lifestyle, by what you do. Simple as that. Now, I like to make these points quite clear because sometimes we do a few things, we pray, offer some jal and so on, we think that, we're very good. That is good. But what about what you're omitting to do? Pay attention to that. Sins of omission. We can correct ourselves, devotees. And I am not saying that it's from scriptures. Okay? So here, devotees, he performed the Panch Yagya efficiently. Daily basis reading scriptures, doing his puja on a daily basis, doing his good towards mankind on a daily basis. We have explained all that time and again. The Brahmin also has chak karma. 6 karmas he has to perform. What are they? Simply put, acquire knowledge, disseminate knowledge. Do yag for yourself, do yag for others. When I say do yag for yourself, I don't mean organize a yag and you jump on the sanghasan. You the srota, you do the yag. Got a vyas to officiate. So do yag for yourself and do yag for others. Accept dan and give dan, charity. These are chak karma of Brahman. Not that this is all, but main karmas, this individual maintained to his most efficiently. All these. And so, doing the right things in life, maintaining the right principles, so religiousness, also spirituality, dutifulness, a wonderful blend of his life. That life would be in equilibrium, devotees. Not that there wouldn't be challenges. I always say this, no man is without challenge. But when you maintain the right principles, you are in a better place to face up to the challenges than if you're not maintaining your principles. Okay? So this Brahman devotee, some time passed, he and his consort lived together quite happily. So, उस ब्राह्मण के इस प्रकार बहुत समय बीतने पर उसकी सुशिष्मती नामक पतिव्रता स्त्री अपने पति से बोली. So quite some time passed, and his wife, wonderful background and everything, her name was Shuchishmati. All right. So we take it as the story goes. Shuchishmati, a very loyal, devoted wife, maintaining the principles because she had a very good husband. It is very, much easier to do your duty towards a good husband than who is otherwise. So she maintained the principles, he maintained his principles, both of them deserved each other. But quite some time passed, and one day, something in her mind. So look at her approach. She approached her husband and she said, "Hey Nath, oh master." Now in today's world, many people have objections to that. Why must your wife call your husband master? That means she's subservient. All that is in your head only, But I won't elaborate upon that. You see, terms of endearment, such terms used in a relationship concretizes the relationship instead of A and OE, that we normally do. You're here, you know how people do it? Devotee, she went to him with deep respect, high regard, devotion. Hey Nath, आपके प्रसार में स्त्रियों के भोगने योग संपूर्ण भोग आनंद मैंने आपको पाकर भोगे. Through your grace, and notice, not to elaborate, but psychological point, a word of appreciation. Notice how she started off. Some husbands killing themselves day and night, and all they get from the wife is criticism. You're no good. You don't do nothing. You better you in the house. No? What she is doing. through your grace, your blessings, आपके प्रसाद से, I have enjoyed all the enjoyment that a wife is supposed to enjoy, which I fully appreciate, O husband. And that says a lot. That simple word of appreciation strengthens relationships. So this is when you see people are refined and, they have spiritual qualities. This is how they behave. So she said, I have enjoyed everything. हे नाथ, इस प्रकार की प्रार्थना बहुत काल से मेरे हृदय में है, जो गृहस्थों के योग भी है, स्वाब देने के योग है. So I have maintained all these principles for all these years, and whatever maybe I had inside, I kept everything inside just to make everything was peaceful and wonderful. So I've come to this point, but there's something in my heart that I really want. I didn't ask all the time. I didn't nag. I didn't even ask, right? Just waited. But oh Holy One, oh Nath, I really, there's something in my heart I would like to, put to you. Then Vishwanar bola, He Susrani, He Priya, Hitaishini, wonderful words of endearment. He Mahabhage, wonderful terms. तुमको कुछ भी अदाय नहीं है, तुम कहो मैं तुमको शीघ्र ही दूंगा. He said, have no fear, O my beloved one. And he recognized what she was, recognizing people's qualities, building them up, building that relationship. Devotees really creates it cements relationships. Yeah. So he's saying, look at the response. What is yet too difficult to give to you? Nothing is difficult. Have no fear. Whatever it is, fearlessly, open your heart, tell me what it is you want. I'll give it to you. He committed himself. I'll give it to you. Now, all his years tapasya, he had plenty power. So many things, he could do. So a question is asked, devotee, I like to ask people this question. If your wife says she wants something, what do you think you're most likely looking for? Not a new sari? Or a pair of bangles? Or some new earring? Something in a material sense. Right? Yeah. Devotees, the Brahmin is saying, हे प्रिय, शिव जी की प्रसन्नता से मुझे कुछ भी दुर्लभ नहीं है. Through the grace of Shiva ji, nothing is difficult for me to give to you. Now you didn't say I had the power. Shiv ji Maharaj, Bhagwan Shankar bless me. हे कल्याणी, O blissful one, सबके कल्याण करने वाले मुझे इस लोक को तथा परलोक में कुछ दुष्प्राप्य वस्तु नहीं. नंदीश्वर बोले, हे नारद, इस प्रकार वह पतिव्रता स्त्री अपने पति का वचन सुन प्रसन्न मुख से हाथ बांधे नम्र हुई बोली. So here Nandishwar is referring to her as a pativrata, Shuchesmati. Pativrata, a wife who is devoted to the husband in mind, word and deed. Of course, you have to have the right husband. Now we can argue that, but Mandodari was a pativrata and Ravan was a dusht. But if you are dusht, I must make myself a dusht. When you create sin, I create my own sin. Why must I suffer? But you see, it's tit for tat in today's world. You do it, I will do you. I will show you. You see? And so we make mistakes and we sink together. Devotees, this is the attitude of this very devoted wife. Right? Nandishwar recognized that, and he himself was saying that. He's saying, Nandishwar, he said that Vishwanar is saying, nothing is difficult. Nothing is beyond him. Whatever you ask for, I shall give to you. And then what Shushishmati did. When hearing the words of her husband, now this may look like a humiliating thing, but they're supplicating manner. Long time they hold the urni and they join their hand together, so like asking for something. All right. Both hands in a supplicating manner, in a respectful manner. Right? We may say subservient, I say no. It's a respectful manner. Right? She said, हे नाथ, यदि मैं वर देने के योग्य हूँ, तो यह वर मुझे देना चाहिए कि शिव जी के समान पुत्र दो, और वर नहीं चाहते. If you're pleased with me, and you have told me to ask, oh Swami, hey Nath, there's only one thing I'm asking for. One thing. I want to have a son like Lord Shiva. शिव के समान पुत्र दो, गिव मी अ सन लाइक लॉर्ड शिवा. और वर नहीं चाहती, I want nothing else. Nothing else. So devotees, Brahman she could give everything. Right? Bhagwan Shankar blessed with plenty power. Well, from the time the wife asked that, well, most times, devotees, sometimes go to relate to what happens today. When the wife asks something, the husband say, ask, When she asks, well, lightning and thunder. Here, devotees, what happened to this Brahman? नंदीश्वर बोले, इस प्रकार उसके वचन सुन, वह पवित्र व्रती ब्राह्मण क्षण भर समाधि में स्थित होकर हृदय में विचारने लगे. The man went in ध्यान one time. From the time his wife said, I want a son like Lord Shiva, he closed his eyes and went in samadhi. Dhyan, Doshinathan, I told her, ask. Now look what she has asked for. In his heart he began to reflect. अहो, मेरी स्त्री ने क्या अति दुर्लभ प्रार्थना की, जो मनोरथ के मार्ग से दूर है अथवा वही सब कुछ करने वाले हैं. उन्होंने ही उसके मुख में वाणी रूप से स्थित होकर कहा है. उनकी इच्छा को कौन अन्यथा करने का उत्साह कर सकता है. नंदीश्वर बोले, इस प्रकार एक पत्नी व्रत में स्थित उस उदार बुद्धि वाले विश्वानर ने विचार कर थोड़ी देर से उस अपनी पत्नी से कहा. नंदीश्वर बोले, इस प्रकार अपनी स्त्री को धाधस बंधा के वह मुनि तप करने को चले गए, जहाँ पर विश्व के ईश्वर साक्षात काशीनाथ स्थित थे. Devotees, he began to reflect. You see, not anger thing, As I said just now, earlier I said, if you ask your wife, if your wife says she wants to ask, what's she going to ask for? Maybe a house, a car, what? A son like Lord Shiva? And he began to think, what will prompt her to ask such a question? I mean, such a desire. What could prompt this? This is not normal. This has to be something beyond. And therefore, there is no doubt in my mind, it is the wish of Shiva himself. This is not ordinary. Analysis, devotees, not jumping to conclusions. Very calm and cool, he understood that maybe this is something that we have to do. It is a divine will. Shivaji, maybe it is his wish. His wish. So he reflected, and then he said, all right, my beloved one, you asked for this wish. I promise I'll give you whatever you ask for. So I'm going to grant you that wish. But you also have to, I can't do it while at home. I have to go and perform certain sacrifices. The greater the objective, the greater the sacrifice. Yeah? You have ordinary children, ordinary. You want better, good children, different quality. It's a different topic again. You have to have some spiritual impetus, not just pure biological interaction. You see? Which is how the world procreates. The sages do it differently. Now they married so long, she didn't worry about any children, Now she wants a son like Lord Shiva. Think about it. This can't be ordinary, devotees. So he said, okay, therefore you will have to perform a certain sacrifice. I have to go and perform certain sacrifices. So therefore, he guided her. You will do this, maintain these principles, these practices, I have to go. And we will hear where he is going. And in due course, through the grace of that divine, what you ask for shall come to fulfillment. And so devotees, the wife understood. They were all, to my mind, just, I don't want to use the strong term puppets, but the devotees of the Lord. And that Lord is working his will through them. This happens when you live the right kind of life. You maintain the right principles. You become a fitting conduit through which the divine vibrations flow. This is how you live. So notice what I am saying, what I have said about the Brahman Vishwanar and Suchismati. The upbringing, the sacrifices, they were not ordinary. Right? And therefore, sometimes you hear this one say Kali Kamandam, that one say Durga Kamandam. When you see how they live in ordinarily, you're shocked. So they live in what Kali and Durga are talking about. You have to maintain a certain standard. So that if you want to call it, this Kala Avatar could come. Or that divine vibration, you become the conduit for this energy and teachings to flow through you. Can't happen just like that. Doesn't happen just like that. Okay? So devotees, there's no doubt in my mind, based upon these two, the life they live, that this Bhagwan Shankar's Ichha, and they are, he's using them as his conduit, to bring his will to fulfillment. So, the Brahman, what he did? He left. He said, I'm going to go perform tapasya. Where is he going, devotees? They said, towards, which is the city of Lord Shiva? People should know by now, it is Kashi Puri. Kashi, Banaras, some say Varanasi, Kashi Puri. Devotees, he went straight towards that spot. His mind on Bhagwan Shankar. Now here, I read it, जहाँ पर विश्व के ईश्वर साक्षात काशीनाथ स्थित थे, where they said Lord Shiva is present. Now Lord Shiva is present everywhere. But when you hear these kind of statements, you see in certain places when sacrifices are made, the vibrations here different from other places. This is why I've been saying, many people say, Guruji, sometimes we see the discourse online. Yes, we hear it and think, good. But when I come to the temple, I feel different. You must feel different. Because of circumstances, we can't, flood up the place as it were. But I'm saying this because some of them may get the habit. When I could sit down home and see everything like I see on TV, right? Why have to go to the temple for? This is why. There are certain places when devotees congregate and make sacrifices, the vibrations here are different from other places. Not that God isn't in other places, but it's easier to find where the vibrations are positive. You see in India devotees, many times I went to India, and initial stages, the arrogance inside of you, so there is poi boy. Pandit take it and put inside here and give Nepal some flowers and you go back home. Yeah, they even fast himself. Religious arrogance we practiced. Only afterwards, many things go through your head, Many sacrifices, you make, and experiences come. Then the thought crossed my mind that the belief these people have, hundreds line up just to go and offer that for a moment and go away. Would I do it? Nah, me have time for that, boy. What about the belief of these people? The sacrifices of these people? The point I'm trying to make is such places, just to put your foot there, you're lucky. You're blessed. You have to be blessed. If you don't have blessedness, you can't reach. And when you reach, you get more blessedness. Because of the sacrifices of the people. Not somebody pandan I'm talking about, The ordinary devotees, who simple love, belief, devotion. They make these sacrifices, as many of you make, know that. Such a place, devotees, must be powerful. Kashi is one such place. Kashi is one such place. I'm not putting too much eye in it. I always say, whenever I go India, I always want to go Kashi. And if I have to go back India at all again, many times I say, I ain't going back. But if I ever have to go back again, anytime again, it's just because I want to go Kashi. People who worship Lord Shiva a lot, they love Kashi. No pretty thing, But you see the places, what the first thing he saw. शीघ्र ही वाराणसी में प्राप्त हो, वहाँ मणिकर्णिका का दर्शन कर. He saw Manikarnika Ghat, Manikarnika. Now the story, we won't go into it. It's about Parvati Ma losing her earring somewhere. It's a pool, and they build up when I say a pool. A pond now, right? And there's a story behind it, but that spot has been blessed. And there's a ghat, a place they created. People go there to pray. Just to get darshan of that place, just to see that place, Manikarnika Ghat. Sai karon jan ke इकट्ठे किए तीनों प्रकार के तापों को त्याग किया, just to get the darshan of that spot. Sins, that committed over ages, lifetimes, sai karo. Whatever problems because of what we have to undergo. Put it simply, pain. There are three types of pain: daihik, daivik, bhautik. Daihik, bodily discomfort. Many of us suffer from that when arthritis take you on, then you can't run for long. Right? Cold and so on, all these things. Daihik. You have bhautik, environmental disasters, all around, your people, environment is bad. You can migrate. When you go, you get another bhautik tab too, wherever you go. And then the devotees, you have Daivik, the natural hurricanes, disasters and so on. And I don't know how to classify this war that is going on right now. Russia attacking Ukraine. What will go out of that? What causes all these things? Stupidity or pain? No matter what the world in pain right now. Check it out. Even with COVID, we're all in pain. Different kind of pain. But what causes pain? Karma. And how can the pain be alleviated? Here, Nandishwar is saying, and Nandishwar is Shiva himself, just by getting darshan of that holy spot, Manikarnika Ghat, that's pain accumulating for lifetimes. Shigra it goes away. Goes away. Just by getting the darshan. So I want all to understand, devotees, that going to holy places, these little sacrifices we're making and so on, these things help to burn away karmas, negativities. This is why the scriptures have given these places to us. Ramayana tells us, when people have to die, they say Shiva, they say go to Kashi and die. She will pass and tell you in the air, Ram Nam Jap, die in Kashi, you gain liberation. It's a physical thing, but it also can be interpreted. Not all we could go Kashi. There's the inner Kashi also. But we're not elaborating upon that. We're talking about what's happening here now. So that Kashi devotees, they said, a very, very blessed spot. Very blessed spot. So this Brahman, burning away his karmas. And what we are told here, all the holy places in Kashi itself. Those of us who have been to Kashi, you would know, you have the Vishwanath Mandir, you have different pools, different places, devotees consecrated lingam, everywhere devotees. Any side you turn in Kashi, there is some holy place. The whole place itself is holy, but somewhere where somebody did tapasya. There's a history behind it. And there's Vishweshwar lingam in Kashi Puri. Devotees, Varanasi, that place is one without a second. One without a second. So when this individual, Vishwanar Brahman, when he reached there and he saw that, you can imagine how he was overpowered with ecstasy, with joy. And devotees, he just continued to perform his pilgrimage, going from place to place, burning away impurities. He's preparing himself for something bigger. And that whole spot itself, where that Lord Vishwanath, Devankedev Mahadev resides, devotees, I would like to just offer obeisance to that place. And the advice is for all of us, seek that Varanasi. Seek it. And not Varanasi alone, but Varanasi Purapati. You seek the Lord of Varanasi, who is Bhagwan Shankar. Visualize. Those of you who have been to Kashi, and there are some of you here who have been there, you're in a better position to visualize Kashi. The Ganga flowing there. The ghat with all the bodies burning. Whatever you want to visualize, visualize. Ganga taranga ramaniya jatakalapam, Gauri nirantar vibhushita vama bhagam, Narayan prema nanga madapaharam, Varansi purapating bhaja vishwanatham, Vachama gocharmaneka gunaswarupam, Vagisha Vishnu swasevita padapitham, Vamene vigraha varena kalatravantam, Varansi purapating bhaja vishwanatham, Bhutadhipam bhujagabhushana bhushitangam, Vyagrajinambaradharam jatilam trinetram, Pashankushabhayavar pradashulapaning, Varansi purapating bhaja vishwanatham, Shitangshu shobhita kirita virajamanam, Palekshananala vishoshita panchavanam, Nagadhi parachita Bhasura Karnapuram, Varansi Purapating Bhaja Vishwanatham, Panchananang Durita Mattamatangajanam, Nagantakam Danujapungava Pannaganam, Davanalang Marna Shoka Jarati Vinang, Varansi Purapating Bhaja Vishwanatham, Tejumayang Saguna Nirgunam Advitiyam, Ananda Kandam Aparajitam Aparmeyam, Nadatmakam Sakala Nishkalam Atma Rupam, Varansi Purapating Bhaja Vishwanatham, Ashang Vihaya Parihritta Parasya Nindang, Paparating Paparating cha sunivarya manah samadhav adaya kamala madhya katang parisham Varansi purapating bhaja vishwanatham ragadi dosha rahitang swajananuragam vairagya shanti nilayam girijasahayam madhurya dhaira subhagam gralabhiramam Varansi purapating bhaja vishwanatham Varansi purapatih savanang shivasya vyakhyatam ashtakam idam patati manushya vidyang sriyang vipulasaukhyam ananta kiritim samprapya deha vilaye lavate chal muksham Vishwanath ashtakamidam yapathe shiva sannidhav shivalok mavapnoti shivena saha murati Har Har Mahadev Bauli Shri Umapati Mahadev ki devotees, he was ecstatic. So, the initial stages, he went about performing the pilgrimages and so on. Pilgrimages help to overcome the imperfections of the mind. And so devotees, everywhere he went, he performed all noble actions, feeding the holy men, wonderful action that's sanctioned by scriptures. Just put it like that. And then, with the days passing by, his mind was on this question. Which lingam can I worship? Where can I worship that I can get the blessing of a son that my wife wants? Which lingam? There are many lingam here, everywhere consecrated. Which one? And so devotees, while searching, performing his various actions and so on, the idea crossed his mind. That brilliance came to his head, that there's one lingam which can bring this fulfillment. And what is it? Viresh lingam. A special lingam called Viresh. Viresh lingam. So he settled himself and said, okay, so in the beginning we always roam all about. Bhatakata main hu murdata se, nahi bisram pata hu. Physically, intellectually, we all roam. And at some point in time, you have to settle down. When you settle down, then you go tap into the powers. This is what happened here. He went all about, searching. Nothing is wrong with that. By so doing, he was stabilizing his body and mind, focusing and tapping into the real solution to his problem. Virish. Now he's settled. And so this lingam here, devotees, he would worship this lingam for 1 year. So notice the length of time he away from home. Every day, he would get up very early, go to the Ganga, take his bath, and Ganga water very cool. Early is about 4 o'clock in the morning. Take his bath and come, and devotees, in various ways, he would do his devotion to Shivaji. 3 times per day he would do it. Right? We have what we call Sandhya. Sandhya is not only evening. Sandhya means junction in time. So morning, around 6 at sun rising, midday time and evening time. 3 times per day, he found time to go and do this puja. Religiously, unwaveringly, for 1 year, he did this. Just praying, worshipping Shivaji, not asking for anything. The 13th month, devotees, in the 13th month, something very, very strange happened. When he took his bath and so when he came back to this lingam, the lingam they have, the big lingam, not small like what we have here. When he looked into this lingam, he saw something very strange. He saw like an 8-year-old boy inside here. Trishul, yellow hair, matted locks, naked, of course a loincloth. The boy is standing there and laughing and chanting as it were Vedic stotras and so on. Where this came from? After so long, devotees, he's seeing this, a response to his prayer. Who could this be? From inside the lingam, he's seeing this. The lingam became transparent as it were. He's seeing this had to be none other than Bhagavan Shankar. Deen Diyalu Kripa Sagar Bhakta Vatsal, who recognized this Brahman's devotion, and he appeared. The Brahman praying, he didn't ask, but it was for a son. Bhagavan came as a child, 8-year-old, standing there and looking on. This sage devotee, Brahman, he couldn't contain himself with ecstasy, with joy. He threw himself on the ground. He surrendered. I don't know, I've always asked myself if that ever happened, that I come face to face with Shivaji, what would I do? What would I do? What would you do? I don't know. This Brahman like a log, sastang danvat, fell and devoted, body quivering, all the hair standing on end. And then he was quite versed devotees. And he composed a wonderful stotha to praise Bhagavan Shankar. And I want to do this because this benefit for all of us. It's called Abhilash Ashtakam. Abhilash Ashtakam. Abhilasha, desire. Ashtak, 8 verses, composed, compiled in Shiva's name. And you will hear the power of this. So devotees, for a few moments, I want you to concentrate again. But this time I want to give you the opportunity. If there is anything special in your heart, for this is the power of this Abhilash Ashtak, to bring fulfillment to one's desires, I give you the opportunity to pray. Pray sincerely. Nothing negative, positive things. And you should understand what I mean by positive things. So devotees, we pray. The Brahmin prayed. Ekang brahmaiva dvitiyang samastam satyam satyam nehana nasti kinchit eko rudrana dvitiyo taste tasmad ekang pang prapadhi mahisham ekah karta tvangi sarvasya shambhu nana rushpesh eka ruposya rupah yadvat pratyang arka ekopyanekas tasma nanyang tvang vinishang prapadye rajau sarpah shuktikayang cha rupyam nerang purastan megakhi marichau yatvat tadvat vishwagesha prapancho yasmin gyati tang prapadhe mahesham to ye shaityang dahakatvang cha vahanau tapo bhanau shita bhanau prasadah pushpe gandho dubdha madhya cha sarpir yatat shambhutvang tatastvang prapadye shabdang graha nasya sutistvam hi jigrir aghranastvam bhyangrirayasi duran vyakshah pashyestvam rasagyupya jihvah kastvang samyak vitatastvam prapadye no vedastva misha sakshadhi vedah no va vishnu nor vidhata khilasya no yogendra nendra mukhyascha deva bhakto vedatvamatastvam prapadye no te gotram napi janmapi nakya no va rupam neva shilang nadeshah itang bhutopi shwarastvam tilokyaha sarvan kaman purayestar bhajetvam tvatah sarvam tvam hi sarvam smarari tvam gaurishastvam cha nagnoti shantah tvam vai briddhastam yuvatvam cha balas tatvam yatking nasatastvanatusmi. Om Har Har Mahadev. Bole Shiv Umapati Mahadev ki. Devotees, he prayed. This is a very, very powerful story, as I said. And you know, simple prayer, beautiful, composed on at the moment, Bhagavan Shankar was highly pleased. And he said, "Oh Brahman, Vishwanar, ask what do you want?" Then Vishwanar said, "Oh Lord," and that's a very, very critical thing here. He said, "Lord, you know what I've been doing, praying and so on and so forth. Why you want to put me on this pressure to go back and to ask for something?" Now for the devotee who's praying, just praising God, to come and ask for something is an anticlimax. He wants to go back and do that. It's against his conscience to do that. He doesn't want to ask. I don't know if you could understand that. If you get in this place where you're just praying to please that Lord, you can't ask. You don't want to ask. Like Sutikshan. Lord, I can't ask. I don't want to ask. The Brahmin is saying, Prabhu, don't put me in that circumstance to ask. Bhagavan Shankar smiled, the child. He said, I understand what your desire is, what you want for your wife, Shushishmati. That desire shall come to fulfillment. I shall myself come as your son. Bhagavan Shankar. Relate to your consort, Shushishmati. Your sacrifices have come to fulfillment. Return home. And your desire shall come to fulfillment. And that Purna disappeared. And the Brahman devotees, great joy, he returned home, telling his consort what happened. We have the blessings of Bhagavan Shankar. He's going to come as your son. And devotees, just to summarize it now, in due course, she gave birth to this child. All the devatas came there to offer obeisance because they all knew a Shivaji in this form. And the name was given Grihapati. Grihesh, the Lord of the home. When this child, as he continued to grow up, the father did all the rites for him. different rites we have for children growing up, right? Shaving the head, Janev, Sanskar, various rituals. Everything was done. The child was taught. And as a matter of fact, he learned for himself. The guru was just a medium. In a very short space of time, he mastered everything. Why not? He's Shiva. When he was 9 years of age, Narad Muni came. When Narad came there, the child bowed and so on. Everybody bowed to Narad, great sage. Then Narad Muni said, okay, well, they want to know about the child. Everybody want to know what the Pacha is saying, what the horoscope is. So Narad said, come sit in my lap, child, Grihapati, and look at the hand, look at various marks on the body. And then Narad Muni said to the parents, Vishwanar and Shuchismati, this child has wonderful marks over his body. Excellent. Marks of nobility, spirituality, everything is to the highest. One problem. Within a year from now, he had a serious, serious problem with lightning or fire. Now that the people call it a grah. Right? Lightning, he can lose his life. He can very well die. Major problem within the next 12 months. And Narad went about his business. Now, Shushishmati and Vishwana, so much tapasya to do to get the child. Here nothing will happen. They start to cry. Very, very depressed. Who want to know you're going to lose your child? And then the child himself said, why are you crying, mother, father? What is the reason? What's the reason? No, they don't need to cry. I will go and worship. And he gave examples of how Shivaji had championed the cause of so many before. One of which was Nandishwar himself. Those of you could remember the Katha of Shilad. Nandishwar was supposed to die, but he did Mrityunjay mantra jap, tapasya to Shiva, and he became immortal. Yeah? So this child said, I'm going to follow the very same pattern. I'm going to worship Shivaji. He'll protect me. And same thing, parents gave me blessings. They gave him blessings. He went right to Kashi. And there he created his own lingam, began to worship. And devotees, 108, let me say, lotas of jal he used to offer on a daily basis. 1 year he had to pray. And all various sacrifices he carried out, doing mantra jap and so on and so forth. And approaching the time that Narad Muni said, Indra appeared, the Lord of the Thunderbolt. And that thunderbolt there and said, Grihapati, ask, I've come to give you a Bardhan. When you see the devotees put their mind on a form, they don't waver. They don't disrespect anyone, but they don't waver. Not because he asks you, jump on to ask. Ask, what do you want? Grihapati said, no, I don't want to ask you for anything. I'm pointing to Bhagavan Shankar. Shivaji, I want to ask for something. Indra said, but I could give Bardhan just like Shiva. He said, no. I want to worship Shiva. I'll destroy you. He became scared, the child, and he fell down there. Child, 9 years. Right? Then Bhagavan Shankar appeared, devotees. Bhagavan Shankar appeared and called out to the child, Beta Uthu, Jago, wake up. When the child opened his eyes, seeing Shivaji, and he consoled him, Bhagavan Shankar did, that Indra, I sent him. I am Indra itself. I just to test you out and see whatever it may be. But how could you die? You shall be, a name shall be given to you again, Agni. You shall be called Agni. You shall be master of Agni Lok. And from a Hindu perspective, southeast is called that vision of the fire. Southeast. Agni Lok. For those who do deeper astrology and so on, they realize that. And deep yagyas and so on. The southeast is Agni Lok. That's why I say this certain times when you have to do yagyas and so on, be careful. When you consecrate that fire, the point in time. And these are no stories. These are the effect. Alright? So he said, you shall be called Agni. And this place where you worship shall be called, this lingam shall be called Agnishwar. Agnishwar, the Lord of Agni. And whoever worships fire, and devotee Shiv Puran has it, if you read all that, Havan in your home, everybody should be doing Havan in your home. When we die, they cremate the body. He's saying that again is the supreme purifier. Bhagavan Shankar is saying that. The supreme purifier. So when people have the different challenges, some people have anger, they can't control it. Havan purifies again tattva. Bhagavan Shankar said, who can maintain these principles, that home where Havan is done, etc., success is bound to come there. And oh, Grihapati, Agnishwar, Agni, you have that power. I'm giving it immortal. You can't die. Because you know why? You are part of my manifestation. We are one. One. So devotee is so saying, Bhagwan Shankar, antardhyan ho gayi, he disappeared. And Grihapati went home. He lived a very long life. Yeah. But we have the examples. So when we say do havan, certain things we tell you to do, these things come from scriptures. And there's a reason for doing it. And this stotra I just chanted last, Bhagwan Shankar said that anybody, well I didn't mention, no, the child form of Bhagwan Shankar in the lingam, that child said, oh Vishwanur, this stotra you chanted for me, anybody who chants this stotra with whatever desires in the mind, and even, you know, I mean, we don't want to elaborate too much, but like people who have sons, you want to have sons, you know, you worship Shiva, 1 year, maybe right sacrifices, chant this stotra, it is possible. It becomes possible. Even those who biologically, they say, impossible to have, through the power of this, it becomes possible. Now look, come on, have asked me for it. So devotees, Bhagwan Shankar also said, this stotra should not be given to undeserving people. Shouldn't be given to undeserving people. Okay? So, if you deserve it, you will get it. We have chanted it. People hearing it all about. If you deserve it, you will have the opportunity to practice it. Okay? So, devotees, these are some techniques. You see, the first stotra, Shrimanas stotra. Varanasi, you know, Vishwanath Ashtakam by Vedyas. This here, Abhilashtakam. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. And you chant, you pray, anything is possible in life. And those of us who have taken part of this evening, we are blessed to have this opportunity. I am sure success will come our way. No losses in worshipping Shiva. He is Varadata. He gives boons. Do it sincerely, devotees. Sincerely. And you can get response quickly. Quickly, quickly. Okay? Blessings. Bole Shri Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Make preparation for the final havan. Yeah. Raj, you have the daily from India? 11? All right, okay. Leave it. Except for the havan. So devotees, we will join together in final havan, after which we will go on to our Aarti and conclusion.
Om Sriman Mahaganaadhipati Swaha. Om Sri Gauri Mata Swaha. Om Sri Prithvi Mata Swaha. Om Sri Panchlokpal Evaya Swaha. Om Hrim Srim Chandikaya Namaha Swaha. Om Aim Hlim Klim Chamundaya Vichye Swaha. Om Hrim Srim Lakshmi Bhyo Namaha Swaha. Om Srim Hrim Saraswatyai Swaha. Om Krim Kalyai Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Tara Devi Swaha. Om Sri Tripura Sundari Devi Swaha. Om Sri Bhuvaneshwari Devi Swaha. Om Sri Tripura Bhairavi Devi Swaha. ओम श्री छिन्नमस्ता देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री धूमावती देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री बगलामुखी देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री मातंगी देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री कमला देवी स्वाहा। ओम श्री नवदुर्गा माताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री स्वाहा माताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम ह्रीं षष्ठी देव्यैभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते नारायणाय स्वाहा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री सीतारामचंद्रायभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री राधा कृष्णायभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री हुं हनुमते नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री आदित्य देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री चंद्रदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री मंगल देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री बुद्ध देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री बृहस्पति देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री शुक्र देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री शनि देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री राहवे नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री केतवे नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री अगिनदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री इष्टदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री कुलदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री अस्तान देवाय स्वाहा। ओम श्री वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा। ओम सर्वदेवता सर्वदेवीभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री अनंत स्वरूपाय ब्रह्मणे नमः स्वाहा। ओम श्री गुरुवेभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। Please all stand. Om Namah Shambhavaya cha Mayo Bhavaya cha. Om Namah Shankaraya cha Mayaskaraya cha. Om Namah Shivaya cha Shivtaraya cha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Purnamidah Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णगम स्वाहा। ओम सर्वपापहरं दिव्यं गांगेयं निर्मलं जलम् आचमनं च मया दत्तं गृहीतां पुरुषोत्तमः आचमन्यं समर्पयामि। श्रीगिन्देवाय नमो नमः।
Mahapati Mahadev ki jai. Please all stand, devotees. We already standing. I want you to join together with me. We do Shiva Aarti. Om Har Har Mahadev. शिव अर्धांगी धारा। ओम जय शिव ओंकार हर शिव ओंकार। एकानन चतुरानन पंचानन राजय। एकानन चतुरानन पंचानन राजः हंसानन गरुरासं वृषभहंसादय दो भुज चार चतुर्भुज दस भुज तेसुरे दो भुज चार चतुर्भुज दस भुज तेसुरे तीनों रूप निरखता त्रिभुवन जन मोहे अक्षमाला वनमाला मुंडमाला धारी अक्षमाला वनमाला मुंडमाला धारी चंदन मृग मद चंद्र भाले शुभकारी श्वेतांबर पीतांबर बाघंबर अंगे ब्रह्मादिक सनकादिक भूतादिक संगे कर के मध्यक मंडल चक्र त्रिशूल धरता जग करता जग भरता जग संहार करता ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिव जानतय विदिता प्रणवाक्षर मध्य ये तीनों एक स्वामी जी हरति जो कोई नर गावे कहत शिवानंद स्वामी सुख संपत्ति पावे The devotee of Sudha completes his Aarti. Let's glorify Bhagavan Shankar. Visualize Bholinath. Mere bum 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 bum, mere bum bhole re, mere bum 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 bum, mere bum bhole re. Bhola bhola, bhola bhola, bhola bhola, bhola bhola. Mere bum 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 bum, mere bum bhole re. काशी जी के विश्वनाथ नाथों के नाथ काशी जी के विश्वनाथ नाथों के नाथ मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे कोई चढ़ावे पान फूल कोई चढ़ावे माला कोई मांग रहा है गोदी में के बाला मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे अंधन को आँख देता कोढ़ीन को काया बाजन को पुत्र देता निर्धन को माया मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे जी के विश्वनाथ नाथों के नाथ, काशी जी के विश्वनाथ नाथों के नाथ, काशी जी के विश्वनाथ नाथों के नाथ। मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे, मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे। भोला भोला हा हा भोला भोला, भोला 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 भोला, हे भोला 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 भोला, भोला 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 भोला। मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे, मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम भोले रे, मेरे बम 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 मेरे बम 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 बम। We join together in concluding devotees. Shiva Hare Shiva Rama Sakhe Prabhu, Vividhata Panivaran He Vibhu, Aja Janeshwara Yadava Pahi Mam, Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Me Varam, Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Me Varam, Pratidinam Kushalam Jai Mangalam, Pratidinam Kushalam Jai Mangalam. Om Mangalam Bhagwan Vishnu Mangalam Garudhvaja, Mangalam Pundarikaksha Mangalayatanu Harihi. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam, Urvarukam Iva Bandhana Mrityur Mokshiyamamritat. Om Mantrihinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Ganeshwara, He Parameshwari, He Sadashiv, He Janardan, He Kapishwara, Yad Pujitam Me Mahadev Paripurnam Tadastami. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasya Dukbhag Bhavet. Om Avahanam Na Janami Visarjanam, Pujang Chaiva Na Janami Chamyatang Parameshwara. Om Gaccha Gatsur Sreshta Swasthane Parameshwara, Yata Brahmadayo Devas Chatra Gachutasanam. Om Gachatvam Bhagwan Agni Swasthane Kuna Madhyataha, Hutam Adaya Devibhya, Shigradehi Prasidame. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, आर शक्ति जगदम्बा माता की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, बोलिए श्री स्वाहा माता की शुभमस्तु. Blessings to all. Kindly be seated, devotees.
Sitaram, thank you for joining with us for the first of our 5 nights of Shiva Yagya. Refreshments have been prepared and can be collected at the front along with your parasads. Safe journey home, and we hope to see you again tomorrow. Sitaram.
And devotees, as we conclude, let me say blessings to Raj. Today he sat, performed puja, and all blessings, Raj, and may all success come your way. And we pray also that blessings reach to your mother. I'm sure she is looking on, and may she recover fully, develop from strength to strength. Blessings, keep it going. So devotees, blessings to everybody. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Do join us. Have a safe journey back home, everybody. Stand up, Raj. Jai Sitaram. Yeah. Achha.